If you guys have been following me on social media for some time, then you know that I got into both MS and MBA as a reapplicant. So I know a few things about what not to do in the applications and what are some of the things that can get you rejected. In this video, I'm going to talk about 7 such common mistakes that people make which you should not in your applications. Let's get into it. Number one mistake is wrong choice of schools. What do I mean here? Let's say you are an electrical engineer and you have interest in AI and ML. Instead of applying to MS in CS program, you should prefer programs like MS in ECE which have a specialized track in AI and ML, for example, University of Michigan. If you apply to MS and CS programs, you will be competing head-on with undergrads from computer science and your chances of admissions will be much lower. Same is the case if you are from any non-computer science branch and you're applying to a different branch, right? There you will always be at a disadvantage. So try to find programs which are more suitable for profile like yours. And we have done a whole video on non-CS people applying to CS programs. So if that is your case, you should check out that video. Second mistake is people start too late. I don't think applicants realize that MS applications actually take a very long time to get right. I remember almost spending a year on my applications. There are so many components that you want to get a head start. You start planning early so that you can get finishing everything on time. And it's not just a case of missing the deadline, right? Applying early can also have significant advantages, especially for schools which have a rolling admission deadline. What does rolling deadline means? It means that they will review the applications in the order in which people are submitting. So if you submit your application early, it gets reviewed early and you are competing for far more seats than somebody who's applying closer to the deadline. So even if the deadline is, let's say, in March, you want to submit your application in November itself. That's what I push my clients to do. So that is something you can try as well. Third mistake is not getting your SOP reviewed. Now, you may not have realized, but admission committee on an average is going to spend only 15 to 20 minutes on your total application, which means they are just going to take 5 to 7 minutes to go through your SOP. Now, if your SOP is very hard to read or you are not telling them the things they are looking for, they are going to quickly lose interest. So you want to make sure that your SOP is easy to read and impresses them right away. Now, no matter how good a writer you are, you can never objectively evaluate your own SOP. So it's highly recommended that you get some external feedback on your writing and make sure that it's written the way MS applications are supposed to be written. If you need more pointers here, I highly recommend checking out our SOP Masterclass. We will leave the link below in the description box. Fourth mistake is missing out on requirements. For example, some schools ask for one SOP, some schools ask for multiple essays, some schools require WES evaluation mandatorily. So make sure you check the requirements very carefully for all your target schools. Now, it's also helpful that once you submit your applications, go back to the application portal and keep checking that the university has received everything from your side. So keep checking the status on the application portals. Make sure your external test scores, transcripts, all those things are received by them. If not, follow up with them. Make sure that nothing is pending from your side. Now, here's a note on test scores. Some people believe, and LORs also, some people believe that it's okay that the official test scores or LORs can reach the university after the deadline as well. But my suggestion is, why take that risk? Why not try to submit everything before the deadline itself? Because you really don't want to enter into a situation where they reject your application purely because it was not complete. Fifth mistake is applying to very few schools. Now, I've covered this topic in detail in our last video itself. And if you remember, I suggest applying to a minimum of 10 universities and follow a 3-4-3 rule for distributing the schools. If you don't know what that is, please check out our previous video. Sixth is weak LORs. Let's talk about LORs a bit. LORs are always tricky because a third person is responsible for completing them, right? Now, let's say you take a LOR from somebody you don't have a great rapport with, right? Now, this person might write things which does not put you in great light, or they may write a very weak LOR. Sometimes it also happens that your LOR is not really relevant to the program you're applying to. And in that case, it doesn't help either. For example, let's say you're applying to MS in Business Analytics programs and you submit a LOR that is talking about a VLSI project not related to analytics. In this case, this LOR is not really adding any value in your applications. Lastly, I feel those LORs are the weakest which talk about very generic things. For example, they may say that yes, you worked there, you were adequate in your requirements. This is actually as bad as a weak LOR. Right? So as you can see in this example, this LOR does not help you at all. So the thing is, you should choose your LORs wisely because a strong LOR can drastically improve your chances of admissions. Last mistake is not waiving off the right to review the LOR. Now, when you enter the name of your recommenders on the application portal, there is a checkbox saying that do you want to waive your right to view this LOR? By asking that, the university is asking, do you want to be able to view this LOR later on? My advice is to always check this box, that is, waive your right in all cases. Why should you do it? By waiving the right, you're giving a signal that I trust my recommender and I don't need to see what he has submitted. This also gives a signal to the recommender that you trust them and they feel comfortable in writing whatever they want. And lastly, it's a good signal to the university to show that you are in no way influencing the recommender to submitting something they don't want to. So there is, I think, always it's better to just waive off this right, because even if you don't waive off this right, it doesn't help you. Let's say the recommender submitted a shitty LOR, you don't get admitted. Even if you are able to view it, it doesn't, what are you going to do about it, right? So best check it and waive off your right to view these LORs. Now we have put in a ton of content and masterclasses to help you master different aspects of your applications and make sure that you submit a really strong application. We are leaving all the links below in the description box. Feel free to check them out. So that's all from my side. Leave your questions in the comment box. Any suggestions are welcome. I will see you next week and take care.